Okay, so today we're diving into a story that should make anyone dabbling in crypto pay attention.
Definitely.
Like really sit up and take notice. Imagine, thinking you've outsmarted the system, only to find yourself behind bars because of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It happened to a trader in the UK, and it highlights just how important it is to understand the legal side of cryptocurrency.
Really does. This isn't just about geeky tech stuff anymore, right? It's about real-world consequences.
Exactly. And this story is especially relevant, if you're following channels like CoinTalk Podcast, to learn more about the crypto space.
Right.
We need to be savvy about the legal risks.
Absolutely. Knowing the rules of the game is just as important as understanding the technology itself. This case really drives that point home.
Yeah, for sure. So let's break down what happened. We've got Graham Darby, a crypto trader, who made a deal with another trader named Z Wang.
Okay.
They agreed to swap 30 Bitcoin for 400,000 Tezos, also known as XTZ. The idea was to reverse this swap after 2 years.
Okay.
Seems simple enough on the surface.
Yeah, it does. But as with many things in the crypto world, there's more to it than meets the eye.
Always.
Always. The value of Tezos skyrocketed during those 2 years.
Oh, wow.
When the time came to reverse the trade, Wang claimed he was owed somewhere between 900,000 pounds and 1.3 million pace because of those gains.
Wow. That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So what did Darby do when faced with this massive bill?
Well, this is where things get interesting. During the legal proceedings in the High Court, that's the main court for serious civil cases in the UK, Darby conveniently failed to mention a rather significant detail. He had 100 Bitcoin, which was worth about 8 million pounds at the time.
Oh my goodness.
Now, forgetting you have millions in crypto,
Right.
that's a tough one to believe.
You'd think those notifications would be hard to miss. So how did they catch him? Did he slip up?
They brought in a cybercrime investigator named Richard Sanders, essentially a digital detective. He uncovered Darby's entire network of digital wallets, proving that Darby was trying to hide his assets. Turns out, pleading ignorance about your crypto holdings isn't a winning strategy.
Nope.
When an expert can trace your every digital footprint.
So trying to play dumb didn't work. What happened next?
So Darby missed a crucial court date.
Uh-oh.
Which, as you can imagine, didn't help his case.
Not at all.
The judge ruled against him.
Okay.
Then, when Darby finally appeared in court claiming he couldn't find a lawyer,
Oh boy.
the judge saw right through it. The judge basically said, you've buried your head in the sand, and sentenced him to 18 months for contempt of court.
Wow.
Essentially, he was being punished for disobeying and disrespecting the court's authority. Now, there was a possibility of early release,
Okay.
but only if Darby came clean and apologized.
It sounds like he really messed up. Did he end up taking that chance to make things right?
He did, eventually, but it wasn't a smooth ride. While in prison, Darby reportedly struggled mentally and emotionally.
Oh no.
His daughter stepped in and helped him get proper legal support.
Good for her.
With a good lawyer on his side, Darby finally admitted his wrongdoing, apologized to the court, and settled with Wang.
So he learned the hard way that honesty is indeed the best policy.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing with millions in crypto and the legal system.
It is.
This is a perfect example of why it's so important to stay informed.
Absolutely.
And that's where channels like CoinTalk Podcast come in.
Right.
We cover stories like this to help you avoid making the same mistakes. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any updates.
Exactly. Knowledge is power in the crypto world. This case shows how quickly things can go wrong and how crucial it is to understand the legal side of every transaction.
So Darby ultimately fessed up, said sorry, and made things right with Wang. Does that mean case closed?
Not entirely. He did end up serving 146 days of his initial 18-month sentence.
Oh, wow.
His mental health struggles and the difficulties he faced accessing legal representation likely played a role in getting a reduced sentence.
I see.
But it wasn't a get-out-of-jail-free card.
This whole situation seems like a cautionary tale, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. What's fascinating here is that this case shines a light on how courts are grappling with this new technology. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Yeah.
Trying to apply existing laws to something as unique and rapidly evolving as cryptocurrency.
You're right. It's like trying to write a rule book for a game that's constantly changing. So how do we even begin to tackle that challenge?
Well, that's a discussion for our next segment on CoinTalk Podcast. Make sure to like this video and share it with your friends who might be interested in learning more. Let's break down these challenges together.
Absolutely. This case is just the tip of the iceberg. We need to be having these conversations if we want cryptocurrency to thrive in the long run. Stay tuned, folks.
Welcome back to CoinTalk Podcast. As we were discussing Darby's case, it struck me that it throws a spotlight on the challenges courts face with cryptocurrency. It's still early days in figuring out how this technology fits into our legal systems.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's like trying to shoehorn something brand new
Yeah.
into a system designed for a different era.
Precisely. And that's why cases like Darby's are so important. They set precedents for future crypto disputes. They force us to ask tough questions like, how do you prove who actually owns digital assets? How do you determine the value of cryptocurrency when it fluctuates so much?
Right.
And how do you even enforce judgments in a decentralized world?
Those are really important questions. And I'm sure our viewers on CoinTalk Podcast are eager to hear some answers.
I'll do my best to shed some light on them. What's particularly interesting here is that this isn't just about the legal system catching up, There's also a psychological aspect to this cryptocurrency. Especially Bitcoin often has this aura of anonymity and being outside the reach of traditional rules.
Right. There's this idea that it's a wild west where anything goes.
Exactly. But as Darby's case shows, that perception can be very misleading and even dangerous.
Yeah, it's a wake-up call that the real world and its laws still apply even in the digital realm.
Absolutely. That's why education is so crucial. We need to dispel these myths and empower people with the knowledge to navigate the crypto space safely and legally. If you're interested in learning more about the legal aspects of cryptocurrency, CoinTalk Podcast has a ton of resources, so make sure to check out our channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date.
Definitely. We try to break down these complex topics into bite-sized pieces that anyone can understand.
Right.
So let's shift gears a bit and talk about what individuals can do right now to protect themselves legally.
Okay.
What are some practical steps our CoinTalk Podcast viewers can take?
First and foremost, do your own research before investing in any cryptocurrency. Understand the technology, the team behind it, the potential risks, and importantly, the legal implications in your country. Don't fall for hype or invest based on rumors.
Solid advice. Basically, don't jump in blindly.
Right. Next, keep detailed records of every single crypto transaction you make. Dates, amounts, those long wallet addresses, everything. It's like keeping receipts. You might need this information later to prove ownership or for tax purposes.
Makes sense. Organization is key. What else should people keep in mind?
Use trustworthy exchanges and wallets to store your cryptocurrency. Don't just go for the cheapest or easiest option. Look for platforms with strong security measures, a proven track record, and transparent compliance with regulations, You don't want to cut corners when it comes to the security of your assets.
It's like choosing a bank you want to trust where you're keeping your money.
Exactly. And speaking of financial institutions, remember that most tax authorities consider cryptocurrency as property.
Okay.
This means you'll need to report your gains and losses on your tax returns, just like with stocks or real estate.
Taxes, that's definitely something people need to be aware of.
Absolutely. Tax laws can be complicated, especially with something as new as cryptocurrency. If you're unsure, consult with a tax professional who understands crypto. It's better to be safe than sorry.
That's great advice. Don't try to DIY your taxes when it comes to crypto. Get expert help if you need it.
And finally, and this should go without saying, but don't use cryptocurrency for anything illegal. Cryptocurrency is not a shield against the law. In fact, its transparent nature can actually make it easier for law enforcement to track illegal activities.
So use your crypto powers for good, not evil.
Exactly. Use it for innovation, financial inclusion, building a better future. Let's keep things ethical and legal in the crypto space.
Well said. And speaking of keeping things ethical and legal, let's move on to another important question.
Okay.
The legal landscape around crypto is still taking shape.
Right.
So how do we as a society bridge that gap between the rapid pace of innovation and the need for clear regulations? What are your thoughts on this?
That's the million-dollar question. It's a delicate balance for sure. We want to encourage innovation, but also protect people from potential harm. It's going to require collaboration between policymakers, regulators, industry leaders, and of course the crypto community itself.
It sounds like we need everyone at the table to figure this out. So what are some potential solutions?
One interesting approach is the idea of regulatory sandboxes. It's like a safe space for new crypto projects to test their ideas in a controlled environment before going mainstream.
Okay.
This gives regulators a chance to learn about the technology and its potential impact while also giving startups room to breathe and innovate.
It's like a testing ground where you can work out the kinks before releasing a product to the public.
Exactly. We've seen some countries experiment with regulatory sandboxes, and it'll be interesting to see how that model evolves.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Anything else that could help bridge this gap?
Another critical factor is communication. Too often there's a disconnect between the crypto industry and regulators. They're speaking different languages almost. We need to foster more dialogue and collaboration.
So more conversations and less confrontation.
Exactly. By working together, both sides can learn from each other. Regulators can gain a better understanding of the tech, and the crypto industry can better adapt to the evolving legal framework.
Sounds like a win-win situation. But what about us, the everyday users? What can we do to ensure that our voices are heard in this process?
That's where education and advocacy come in. The more informed the public is about cryptocurrency, the more empowered they'll be to engage in these conversations. This is where platforms like CoinTalk Podcast play a vital role. We aim to break down complex concepts, provide unbiased information, and encourage critical thinking.
We're all about empowering our viewers to make informed decisions and participate in shaping the future of crypto. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our content.
Absolutely. And remember, folks, the world of cryptocurrency is constantly evolving. What was true yesterday might not be true today. That's why it's so important to stay engaged, stay curious, and stay informed.
Now, before we wrap up this segment, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, the psychological aspect of cryptocurrency.
All right.
It's easy to get caught up in the hype, especially when you see stories of people making huge profits.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. Cryptocurrency can have this allure of easy money, and that can lead to impulsive decisions. But as we've seen with Darby's case, the human element can't be ignored. Emotions, greed, fear, even just plain forgetfulness, all these things can factor into decisions that have real-world consequences.
It's like with any investment, there are risks involved, and it's crucial to manage those risks responsibly.
Precisely. And that brings us back to the importance of education and awareness. We need to foster a culture of responsible crypto use, where individuals are empowered to make informed decisions and understand the potential downsides as well as the potential upsides.
So let's emphasize that point. Once again, education is key. Don't just follow the hype. Do your own research, stay informed, and make decisions that align with your own financial goals and risk tolerance.
Well said. And if you're looking for reliable information and insights, look no further than CoinTalk Podcast. We're dedicated to providing you with the knowledge and resources you need to navigate the exciting and sometimes turbulent world of cryptocurrency.
Now let's transition to our final segment, where we'll recap the key takeaways from Darby's case and explore some broader questions about the future of cryptocurrency and its relationship with the law.
Stay tuned, folks. We've got a lot more to unpack. And don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends. The more people we can reach with this information, the better.
Welcome back to CoinTalk Podcast for the final part of our deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from the specifics of Darby's case to the broader challenges facing the legal system.
Right.
As it tries to grapple with this revolutionary technology. Let's recap some key takeaways and look ahead at what the future might hold.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest lessons from Darby's story is the importance of transparency. Trying to hide assets, especially when you're dealing with the legal system, is almost always a recipe for disaster. The blockchain, by its very nature, leaves a permanent record. So it's crucial to remember that.
It's a reminder that in the world of cryptocurrency, actions have consequences, just like in the traditional financial world.
Exactly. And building on that, I'd say another crucial takeaway is the importance of staying informed. The crypto landscape is evolving rapidly, and what might have been acceptable practice yesterday could be considered risky or even illegal today.
That's where resources like CoinTalk Podcast come in. We're committed to keeping our viewers up to date on all the latest developments.
Right.
Whether it's regulatory changes, security best practices, or just understanding the legal implications of different crypto activities.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially in a space as dynamic as this one. The more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions and protect yourself legally.
We've talked about individual responsibility, but let's shift gears and zoom out to the bigger picture. As cryptocurrency becomes increasingly mainstream, how do you envision the legal system adapting to handle the unique challenges it presents?
That's a fascinating question. I think we'll see a few key trends emerge. First, I expect more clarity around regulations. Governments worldwide are realizing they can't ignore cryptocurrency any longer. So we're likely to see more laws and frameworks specifically designed to address crypto-related activities.
It makes sense. Regulation often follows innovation, especially when it comes to finance and technology.
Exactly. And alongside more specific regulations, I anticipate a growing body of case law related to cryptocurrency.
Okay.
As more disputes like Darby's arise, courts will be forced to grapple with the nuances of digital assets, and those rulings will set precedents for future cases.
So in a way, we're all part of his grand experiment figuring out how cryptocurrency fits into the existing legal framework.
It's like we're writing the rule book in real time. And that's what makes this space so dynamic and, frankly, a bit unpredictable.
It's exciting, but also a bit daunting, right?
Definitely. But it's important to remember that this evolution is happening because cryptocurrency is becoming increasingly relevant to our everyday lives. It's not just a niche technology anymore.
And as it becomes more integrated into our financial systems, the legal system has to adapt.
Precisely. And I think that adaptation will involve more than just new laws and court rulings. I also expect to see a growing demand for legal professionals who specialize in cryptocurrency.
So if any aspiring lawyers are watching CoinTalk Podcast, crypto law might be a good specialization to consider.
Absolutely. Individuals and businesses will need expert legal guidance to navigate this complex landscape, whether it's understanding tax implications, structuring token sales, or ensuring compliance with evolving regulations.
We've covered a lot of ground today, and I know this can feel like a lot to absorb.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, I want to leave our CoinTalk Podcast viewers with this thought. As the lines between the physical and digital worlds continue to blur, how do we ensure that our legal systems keep pace with the rapid innovation in the cryptocurrency space? It's a challenge that will require collaboration, creativity, and a willingness to adapt.
It's an ongoing conversation, and platforms like CoinTalk Podcast are here to help you stay informed and engaged.
So if you're interested in diving deeper into these issues, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave us a comment with your thoughts.
Yeah.
We love hearing from our viewers and learning from each other.
We're all in this together, folks. The future of cryptocurrency is being shaped right now, and it's up to all of us to ensure it's a future that is both innovative and legally sound.
Thanks for tuning in to CoinTalk Podcast and joining us for this deep dive. Until next time, stay informed, stay curious, and stay crypto savvy.